Great to be here with everybody today and happy to start our second week here in the mastery class. For those of you, a couple of you, this is your first week with us, but this is going to be a 7-week series learning the 7 skills and doing some assignments together to truly master those skills in building your XFuse business. Now, hopefully those of you that maybe didn't have a copy of Eric Worre's book Go Pro or didn't have a copy of my workbook Road to an XFuse Elite have obtained those. If you don't have a copy of my book, then you can simply send me an email at jjmelling@gmail.com and I will get you a copy, a PDF copy for free. Or if you want to go on Apple iTunes, it's about $5 on the iBooks store. You're welcome to digitally download it there. I'm not looking to make money on this book. Any proceeds I receive from Apple will be distributed to Viva Kids, but just want to make sure people have access to it easily at whatever level you would want, electronically or PDF. So just email me if you don't have it. But this week in particular, you're going to need both of those resources to accomplish your assignment. So if you don't have them, please get them. First of all, I just want to welcome the weekend. Happy Saturday morning to those of you in Australia and Malaysia. For those of you here in the US, it's Friday, it's evening, the week's over. It's time to start enjoying the weekend, folks. But I'm excited to have the group of you here. Now, this is not an opportunity presentation type webinar. I am assuming if you're on this webinar, you are serious about building your XFuse business and you want to learn how to create some results that maybe you have not yet achieved in your business. So that's what we're focusing on here in this mastery class. And we are on this week skill number 2, which is the skill of inviting people. How do we invite people to an exposure? That's what the focus is going to be on this week. But first of all, I want to do a little bit of a review on last week. And I want to ask you the simple question: are you committed to your business? Okay, and for many of you, you say, oh yes, I'm committed, absolutely. Well, commitment is easy to say, but are you really committed to your business? I love this comic strip of the chicken and the pig. You know, the chicken says, hey pig, I was thinking we should open a restaurant. The pig says, I don't know, what would we call it? The chicken says, how about ham and eggs? And the pig says, no thanks, I'd be committed, but you'd only be involved, right? So I want to ask you the question again. Are you committed to your XFuse business, or are you merely involved in XFuse? No, either one is okay, but be aware of where you're at. So how do you know if you're committed or you're involved? It's really, really simple. There were 3 mandatory assignments from last week's webinar, from last week's class. Assignment number 1 was defining your why, making sure you had at least 2 of your whys really identified, and going through in the chapter the 15 questions and answering those questions around 2 of the whys. Okay. Mandatory assignment number 2 was making sure you had at least 200 people on your names list and going through the memory jogger and making sure you had a minimum of 200 people on your names list. Now, I want to let you know, I want to do these assignments just like I'm asking you to do them. So this week, even though my database of names of people that I have to contact about my XFuse business is over 1,200 names, but I went through the memory jogger. I also pulled out some of my old high school yearbooks and went through them and looked at names of people that I went to school with. I added over 200 names using the memory jogger of my high school yearbook to my names list. So it's now over 1,400 people. Okay, so if I can do it, I've been doing this 6 years and I've been working on my names list and inviting and contacting and enrolling people for 6 years. If I can go back and find another 200 names of people that I've forgotten or missed, then I know each one of you on this call could also add 200 names to your names list. So that was assignment number 2. Number 1 was defining your why. Number 2 was adding names to your names list. And number 3 was getting a journal and meeting a minimum of 2 people a day, adding a minimum of 2 people a day to your journal. Okay. Those were the 3 mandatory assignments. So look at your performance over the past week and ask yourself the question again, am I committed or am I involved? If you're committed, you did those 3 assignments. Now, if you're super committed, then you also became a member of our Elite Finding Ninja Club by meeting a minimum of 100 people in a single day and writing those names down on your names list as well. Okay, now for some of you, you actually went out and achieved this. I've gotten the emails. Thank you very much. But I wanted to share with everybody some of the people that have taken action. And I've asked many of you either email me or text me. Let me know how it's going. And so I just wanted to go through some of the replies, the responses I got from some of you that have chosen, I'm going to be committed. I'm going to do the assignments. I'm going to make it happen. So first of all, from someone in Australia, and I'm going to leave names off just for confidentiality, but the quote was, it really shifted me psychologically. I can't believe what a difference it has made to go meet people without trying to invite them. You know, just out there meeting. Remember, that's our goal this week, just getting comfortable meeting people. Somebody else in Australia let me know that in a couple hours at the mall, she added 78 names to her list. 78 names in just a couple hours, walking around the mall, browsing, doing some shopping. By the way, Sarah and I went to the Boise Mall again, got 67 names in about an hour, just going to the Apple store, the Brookstone store, looking for some Christmas presents for our kids, having a great time as a couple, just spending time together, but meeting people at the same time. From Malaysia, I got a text from Malaysia. An 18-year-old girl or young woman there got 12 names in 20 minutes. 18 years old. She's taking the skills seriously. She's learning to be committed. And in 20 minutes added 12 names. Congratulations. From St. George, Utah, I got this on an email. From a couple that went out to a Dairy Queen for some ice cream, and they met the people working there. She said they looked at us like they thought we were totally weird to introduce ourselves to them. It was hilarious, to say the least. Thanks for the challenges. From California, I got the following on an email. This was really touching and impactful to me, but well, we had to go to the post office, so on the way home we picked up some veggies at the farmer's market stand. We introduced ourselves to Stephen and Paulina. I must say it really did make us feel good and like we were actually friendly people. We're working up the courage to take up the gauntlet on the 250-person challenge. So, you know, why that was so impactful for me. This is a couple that I know to be loving, wonderful, friendly people. But what that tells me is they don't normally feel that way when they're out prospecting. But just introducing people, just for the sake of introducing, they felt friendly. Someone in Oklahoma said, surprisingly, it did feel really good. Someone in Florida went to the mall and got 81 names in 90 minutes. I can't believe how easy it actually was. Someone else from southern Utah, it was much easier than I dreamed it would be going out and meeting people. So folks, the people that are committed, the people that are taking action, listen to those key words: easy, fun, felt friendly, was hilarious, to say the least. These are all positive, good, feel-good emotions. So what I want you to take from this, if you're committed, if you do these assignments, it's not going to be scary. It's not going to be ugly. It's going to feel good. You're going to have fun. You may even laugh. It may even be a hilarious experience for you. So decide right now. Maybe last week you were more involved than committed. decide right now, this upcoming week, I'm going to play the game. I'm going to be committed, and watch what will happen in your business. The definition of commitment is staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you said it in has left you. So it's easy for those of you, especially like in Australia, many of you are in a room there together, watching this together. I believe in Malaysia we have a group together as well, watching it together. It's easy when you're in the moment on this webinar to say, okay, I'll do that, I'll do that. Then you go out into life and life gets busy and it's easy to not follow through. Commitment means you're actually going to follow through on what you commit to do while we're here together. So this week we're talking about inviting people, right? So inviting people, how do we actually develop the skill of going out? Now it's comfortable, it's fun, we feel friendly meeting people. How can we carry that same feeling into the inviting process? Now, the key in inviting people is actually figuring out what you're going to say to those people. Now, what is the fear we all have of going out and inviting, right? The underlying fear is that we may feel some rejection. What if I invite my friend or my family or that stranger, whatever? What if I invite them and they say no, right? Then we have to deal with that rejection. So there's this fear that we have to overcome in order to get out and actually invite. Now, fears are just stories that we tell ourselves. In reality, if you learn how to invite following the 8-step inviting process that is both in the GoPro book from Eric Worre, as well as copied into my book with some background on Road to an Fuze Elite, if you follow the 8-step process, step number 1 is be in a hurry. Step number 2 is compliment the prospect. Step number 3 is make your invitation. Step number 4 is using an if I would you question. If I gave you a DVD, would you watch it? If I gave you a website, would you go to it and watch a video? If I gave you a CD, would you listen to it? If I gave you a sample, would you consume it? Would you try it? But the step number 4 is the if I would you question. Step number 5 is getting a time commitment. When will they actually commit to watch or listen or view or review the information that you gave them? Step number 6 is confirming that time commitment. Step number 7 is getting a time and number where you can follow up with them. And step number 8 is getting off the phone or out of their presence as quickly as possible. Now, if you follow those 8 steps, the 8-step inviting process, then there's nothing to fear because you're not going to experience the rejection. Okay, you won't experience rejection. Not everybody will take you up on the offer. Not everybody will do what you want them to do. But if they don't, you won't feel rejected. You'll just feel like, great, I can get them off my list and go talk to somebody else that can help me. Now, I'm not going to go real in depth on this webinar on exactly how to create your script because that material is both in the GoPro book as well as in the Road to Elite Director book. Okay, the exact examples of scripts and what you could put on there following those 8 steps. So use those as your resources. But what I want you to do is understand the psychology behind what we're trying to accomplish here, because what a lot of people in our profession will tell you to do, a lot of trainers will say, I know you have this fear. I know you have this story that you're telling yourself in your head, but you just need to get over it, right? Or you just need to face that fear and do it anyway. You need to develop thick skin. You need to not care about what people might say to you, right? And my advice is going to be very different from that, because everything you're running away from is in your head. Okay, your fears are going to drive you to not take action, but remember, it's all in your head. And I'm going to encourage you to do the exact opposite. I don't want you to get thick skinned. I don't want you to become hard where you don't care what other people think, right? That didn't feel good to me to say, listen, I'm going to get to the point where I don't care if somebody rejects me. That doesn't feel good. Look, I care about other people. I love other people. That's what drove me into this profession, was my desire to build relationships with more and more people. So what I really want to encourage you to do this week, be soft, right? Don't let the world make you hard. Don't go out there with the goal of, I'm going to face rejection and do it anyway. I'm going to face that fear and do it anyway. Don't let the pain make you hate. Don't let the bitterness steal your sweetness. Take pride that even though the rest of the world may disagree, you still believe it to be a beautiful place. If you listen to those comments that I got from people, okay, it was fun, it was hilarious, it was easy, it actually made us feel friendly. If you'll take those emotions of fun, friendly, easy, hilarious, and then you write out and memorize 3 different scripts, okay, and you take that energy of friendliness, of fun, to a conversation to where that script just flows right off your tongue. Okay, where you're not thinking, what am I going to say? Or you're not reading it, but you actually write out your scripts and then you role play them over and over and over again. Then you go out into the world and you meet someone who's a real positive, friendly person, and it just rolls right off your tongue to say, hey, John, you've given me some of the best service I've ever received. Listen, I don't, tell me, do you plan on being a waiter for the rest of your career, or is this just something you're doing part-time, in the moment? And most times, a waiter will say it's something I'm doing part-time in the moment. And you reply with, listen, I don't know if you keep your options open, but I'm expanding a business in the area. Now isn't the time to get into it because I'm in a hurry. And of course, you're at work on someone else's time clock. But if I could get you an interview, would you be interested in taking a look at what we're doing? Right? If that just rolls off your tongue and it feels friendly for you to say it, then it's easy and you'll continue to have fun as you go out and prospect, because it's just an extension. An invitation is just an extension of meeting somebody. Okay, so remember, the skill here is inviting. I want you to think of this like you're inviting people to your birthday party or to a Christmas party or to some event where you're going to have a lot of fun, a backyard barbecue. If you go out and invite some friends to a barbecue at your house, you're not sitting there wondering, oh no, what if they say no? What if they don't come? Oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't even have the barbecue. No, when you're inviting people to a party, it's so easy. You run out and tell the world, you're like, hey, you know what? I'm having a party Thursday night at 5 o'clock and you're invited. I want you to come. There's going to be a lot of great people there. We're going to have a great time. Right? And if people say, oh, I'm really sorry I can't make it, it's not devastating. You didn't get rejected. It was just that it didn't fit into their schedule. This is no different. If you have your scripts perfected and if you follow that 8-step process, you will never personally be rejected by anybody. It just simply may not be the time in their life where they're looking for something like an X-Fuse opportunity to fit into their life, and that's okay. So remember, inviting, just like finding people, is a skill that can easily be learned. And many of you made the commitment. You did the assignments last week. You added a minimum of 2 people a day. You're going to continue that skill. Keep adding 2 people a day. Okay, inviting is the same way. We don't want to go out into the world and hope we luckily find the right person on the right day. No, treat inviting as a skill. Learn how to invite in a way that it is a skill. It just becomes a part of something you do every single day to drive your business forward. That's what the professionals do. That's what the six-figure income earners do. They develop a skill and it's part of their daily activity. It's something they do every single day is they go out and they invite people. Now, for your assignments for this week. Okay, the assignments this week, and again, think this week, are you going to be committed or involved? If you're going to be committed to your business, if you truly want to master the 7 skills, you will take action on these assignments. If you don't, then you won't. That's okay. We know where you're at. Number 1, write out 3 inviting scripts using the 8-step process. Now, again, if you download my book, get a copy of Eric Worre's GoPro, all the scripts are there. All you need to do is write them out. And as you're writing them out, it's very, very important that they fit your personality, that they feel natural to you. So if you look at the examples in my book or Eric's book of things that you could put in each 8-step, if there's not something there that fits the way you would naturally go out and talk to people, you can adjust the wording. The wording isn't critical. What's critical is that you achieve those 8 steps. Okay, the thing that's critical is making sure you have a way to let the prospect know, number 1, you're in a hurry. Number 2, you deliver some kind of compliment to them. Number 3, you make an invitation. Follow the 8 steps. The steps are what are important. The wording needs to be your own wording. Okay, if you write out a script, but it doesn't even sound like you when you read it, then you go approach your friends, they're going to look at you like you're an alien or like you're possessed because you're talking in a way that they've never heard you talk before. So make sure the wording feels comfortable, that it's something that you would normally say, but write out 3 scripts. Now, here are the 3 scripts I want you to write out. Number 1, friends and family, your warm market, okay? Write out scripts that you can go back to people you've invited to Xfuse, or if you haven't invited anybody, that you could talk to your friends and family. So with your friends and family in mind, write a script specifically for what are you going to say to your friends and family when you invite them to your exposure. Script number 2 is going to be geared around people that you want to target. Okay, so for instance, one of the first scripts I wrote was for waiters or waitresses at restaurants. The reason why is I was eating 2 meals a day. I was on the road and I was meeting people for lunch and dinner all the time doing Xfuse presentations. So I knew I was going to be in restaurants and I was going to have the opportunity to meet 2 waiters or waitresses every single day. So I had them specifically in mind when I wrote one of my scripts. Okay. For you, maybe it's something different. Maybe for your main job, you're a realtor. So it's going to be, how could you talk to other realtors? Maybe you're a mortgage professional. So it's going to be, as you're out and about getting mortgage leads, how do you talk to? Or it might just be, people that are in the service industry. Maybe throughout your week, you look at your week and you realize, you go to several different services businesses like a laundry, a salon, a health food store. And so you write a script targeting those type of people. Then your third script is going to be for people that you're meeting. So those of you that did the assignments this last week, maybe you went to a shopping mall. Maybe you just went to the street corner to meet people. Maybe you specifically went in and out of real estate offices or doctor's offices or health food stores. Whatever you've kind of figured out as your niche, how are you meeting people? Okay, specifically write a script that will fit the type of people that you're meeting, that you're comfortable, that you're having fun with. So if you're my friends in California that met people at that farmer's market stand, I would say, okay, I felt friendly. It felt good just meeting them. Now, what script could I write that would still feel friendly? Okay, that would keep that friendly, comfortable, warm feeling and write that script. So one's going to be warm market, one's going to be a target market like waiters, real estate, doctors, whatever that is, and one's going to be for the cold market, people that you're just meeting. But write out 3 different scripts. Okay, that's step number 1 on your assignment. That's going to take you a total of a half hour, by the way, folks. So if you're involved, a half hour might be a lot to spend. If you're committed to becoming a 6-figure earner in Fuze, a half hour you can easily find. So write out your 3 scripts. Number 2, you're going to role play all 3 scripts a minimum of 15 times per day. Okay, so when I first started role playing my scripts, I asked my wife Sarah to help me every night. So as we laid in bed before we went to sleep, I would read through my scripts and she would be a prospect. Okay, so I would go through all 8 steps and she would act like a prospect and we would do it 15 times a day. That's each script should take you a minimum or a maximum of 30 to 60 seconds. Okay, so you're talking 45 minutes a day, because 3 scripts 15 times, let's say it took you a minute each time, it's going to take you 45 minutes a day for the next week. 45 minutes a day to master a foundational skill in your business. Okay, 45 minutes a day might seem like a lot if you're not serious about making 6 figures. If you're serious about building a huge business, 45 minutes a day for 1 week is nothing. And I promise you, if you'll actually do this, at the end of a week, those 3 scripts will roll right off your tongue. Okay, after I used Sarah for a few days or a few weeks, it's been years ago, I can't recall exactly how long, but pretty soon I got to where I didn't need her to play the other party. I could just role play these in the mirror every morning. And it got the time, you can role play the 8 steps quicker if you're not waiting for the response. But I would tell you for the first few times, role play them with a live person till they feel comfortable. Then get in a habit of just role playing them day in, day out. Assignment number 3, get the phone number of 10 of the people that you have met during your finding efforts over the last week and decide which of your scripts you will use to invite them. So how do you get the phone number? The first thing you do is you look at the list of people you added to your list over the past week and you identify 10 of them that stick out in your mind as, wow, they were really sharp, or they were really friendly, or I really like their posture, or they seem like nice people. And guess what? They're on your list. Go back and meet them again. So if I'm my friends in California, I'll go back to that farmer's market stand to buy a fresh piece of produce, and I'm going to call those people by name, right? So I'll say, hey, Stephen, it was great meeting you last week. I don't know if you remember me. My name's such and such, right? So you re-meet them again and then say, hey, I really enjoyed your stand, and try and find some way to get their phone number. Or if it feels comfortable, go right into the script. If it doesn't, just reconnect with them. If you meet people 2 or 3 or 4 times, it's easy to ask for their number. So identify 10 of the people that you found last week, and let's focus on re-meeting or re-exposing yourself to those 10. Then number 4, think about who on your names list, your overall names list, would be good for each of your practiced invites, and role play that invite as if you were speaking to them. Now notice, none of these assignments, nowhere on these assignments am I saying go out and use the scripts, okay? All I want you to do this week, if you get comfortable, do it. Go out and use them, okay? But the real key is make sure you feel comfortable. It feels natural. The scripts roll right off the tip of your tongues. The invite is just a natural process of the way you speak and the way you communicate. That's our goal for this week, is getting that invite skill, getting the script to feel fun, to feel comfortable, to feel hilarious, right? You want to take that same energy we felt in finding people and apply it to the skill of inviting people, and make sure you can actually have fun doing it. Okay, now notice none of those assignments are actually going out and inviting yet. They will be in the future, but not yet. Right now, get comfortable, have fun with it, write them out, role play them, and then start to look at your list of people and say, okay, who could I use which script for? Start putting those people on your list in buckets of one of those three scripts that you're going to find, and then start role playing as if you were speaking to them. My wish for you is that you'll choose to become an inviting professional, right? That you'll choose to make this a skill for you, that you'll choose to be committed to becoming an XFuse professional, because it is a stone cold fact that at XFuse, we have the better way. You can achieve the goals and dreams you outlined last week. Whatever your why was, it can become your reality over the next 7 weeks. So with that, guys, have a great week. Have some fun. Do the assignments, follow through on your commitments, and week by week, I know these assignments seem small, but week by week as they compound, the results in your business will not be small. They'll be very, very dramatic. So have a great week, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in from all around the world. Excited to have you with us, and excited to see your XFuse businesses explode and see you on the beaches of the world. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week, everybody.